body and what it can do for us as community members, but also as coaches, because we did invite our community members as well. So we have a mix of coaches as well as people that are just part of the community. They've been veterans, part of the community. And I do have to say, we're a really close-knit team, and Jillian has brought us even closer. And so I'm going to leave it with Jillian. She's going to introduce you, and then we can get started.
Thanks, Matt.
You're welcome.
So yeah, I got a little obsessed with body. I took my first podcast with Eric, and I was like, this guy's pretty awesome. And then we connected on social media, and I was like, I signed up for your Hit and Core class, and I hope I don't die on the screen. And he said, you won't, don't worry, you know, Beachbody rallies around everybody. And then I did the class, and I did die a little. But at the end of that class, when we were cooling down, he said, I saw you, Miss Jillian. He's like, you could totally hang here. And went into this speech about like self-doubt. And when he said that, it just, something clicked. And I say that that's what sparked the fire. And you guys have all seen what has transpired from that moment. So I'd like to welcome Eric to our call. To know this guy is to love this guy. So,
well, thank you.
That's your story.
I don't think you need to hear anything else. That was it. That's. Hi everybody. So my name is Eric Thomson. I am one of the trainers on Body, not to be mistaken with one of the super trainers, because I think there's a fine line there. And just to be very clear, we're actually not with Body as its own entity, even though it's affiliated with Beachbody. It is actually its own entity. So I'm affiliated, but not yet affiliated with Beachbody. So I'll just put it that way. I actually have been with Beachbody though in the past when it was Beachbody Live. I don't know if any of you were around for that. I actually did a few of the background talent for P90X. So I had been with Beachbody prior. So this is not my first rodeo. But like my story in a nutshell is fitness saved my life about almost 17 years ago. I was an obese individual growing up, and was about 260 pounds when I graduated high school. It was my physical before college where my doctor said, you know, son, if you continue on this path, he's like, I really don't know what your future is going to hold for you. You know, he's like, you know, he obviously read off a host of things that could happen, and you know, the eating habits and the lack of exercise and whatnot. Not to be mistaken with the fact that I wasn't athletic, it just kind of what life was at the moment had transpired. And so I fortuitously won a gym membership on my graduation night from high school with a personal trainer. And yesterday, it's funny, in class, I said that, you know, if you're looking for a sign, today is usually the sign. And that was truly a sign for me. I only entered in one thing for graduation night, and that was it. Everybody was entering in for like the trip to Hawaii or whatever. I just wanted to lose weight. And so, you know, that's how I kind of got started, like with my love with fitness. What got me into the fitness industry is I actually was, my first stint in life professionally was as a classically trained tenor. So I've done some opera work. I've done a lot of concert work. But when I was doing productions, shows, operas, my colleagues couldn't really keep up. And so what I would do is I would go and take them to the gym with me, and I'd help train them and help them get more conditions so that they could hang out on the stage. Because if you're not familiar with opera, we don't use microphones. So we're the Olympians of the singing world, in the sense that your body's your instrument and you need to be able to take care of your body. So, you know, helping them with that started to spark an interest in it. And then what really got me into wanting to do fitness was I had moved back from college. I didn't get any singing jobs. I got a regular job here in Arizona after college, and I stepped into my first cycling class with my mentor of now, gosh, 12, 13 years. And it was the way that she made me feel by just walking into her class where I was like, hot damn, this is it. And then she, her playlist was just banging. And so I was like, all right, let's roll. So it was my first cycling class. And which, if any of you take next Friday, April 1st, I'm playing all my old favorites from like the vault from years ago, like from years and years and years ago. But anyway, so my trajectory with this is, I mean, I'll wrap it up here, is this lady, Marnie, who I still I'm going to take her class on Friday, who I still take from, she kind of like what Jillian was saying, was lit my fire. And it was how she made me feel, and how she makes everyone feel. And, you know, I've had a lot of leaders in my life, coaches and whatnot, that I've always said, you're not good enough. You know, it's not good enough. It'll, you know, nope, not good enough. We got to do that again. And she was the first one who was like, no, it's good enough. And so from there, hold on one second. My puppy is destroying something and I need to make sure it's not my bad. Hey, what are you doing? Huey, come here. Huey, come on. Come on, dude. Come on. Huey, come on. Let's go. Huey, come on. Huey, let's go. Huey, let's get it. Huey. All right. Little bulldog.
That was amazing.
So, here we are. Real life. So
real life. Exactly.
So anyway, what with Marnie, anyway, long story short, after that I decided that's what I wanted to do. My last auditions for singing, nothing came of it. And I was really like, okay, where am I going to go with my life? What is it that I want to do? And my husband at the time was like, you know, you've always talked about going into training. Why don't you give that a go? And I had signed up for my cycling certification like 3 times prior, and always thought, I'm not going to be good at it. I'm not, like, nothing will ever come of it. Nada. Finally, my husband and Marnie put me on the plane to LA to be certified, and like, don't come back until you're done. So I was certified. I auditioned a week later at what is a Lifetime Fitness, if you're familiar. They're kind of one of the top higher echelon gyms, and with no experience, they hired me. And that's kind of where it all started. And I just never looked back. I've worked really, 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 really hard over the years with regards to training and educating myself. But more than anything, my biggest passion is helping people understand that they are their own limit, because that's how I lived my life for a good majority of it. And, you know, I operate from a place of fear. I understand that, you know, my mission is to help people just understand that they don't have to feel the way that they do about themselves, that there's more to life than looking at others that have a great life and thinking, gee, how wonderful would that be? That all can be possible with you. And how I found that out was through fitness and building confidence in the gym, and finding community in the gym with like-minded individuals that have similar goals and aspirations.
Love it. Thanks, Eric, for sharing your story. Do you mind if we just open it up just for Q&A for like 5 minutes?
Absolutely, whatever you would like.
Okay. Does anybody else want to go?
You sing for us. I'm just kidding.
So just to break the ice, we did have, okay, first I just want to say, Jackie, can you share the screen so we can see everybody? And so Brittany is another one who takes a lot of your classes. So just so you can say hi, you might have seen her on before. And yes. Then tonight we, Sarah D, she's going to raise her hand. She took one of your workouts tonight. But I guess if you don't mind, could you share a little bit about, like, I guess I didn't realize that you guys weren't, like, you're hired by Beachbody, but you're not like with them, you said you're not like affiliated with them.
Correct.
Okay. So how did you go about, did they seek you out? Or like, were you guys all like trying to get this position to be a part of the launch? How did that work?
So the gentleman who's head of fitness, nutrition, and results for Beachbody, his name is Jeffrey Scott, is actually one of my longtime mentors. And it was kind of like in the 11th hour, they were finishing selecting their trainers for body, and how I came, I guess my name had been thrown in the hat a few times, but they just weren't looking for another male, I guess is kind of what it was. But then finally, like, Jeffrey's like, no, you gotta see this guy. And so they flew me out, and then here we are.
So what is your take on it so far? I would love to hear, like, how do you feel like it's going for them just like launching? I mean, we all are impressed by it, and like, you personally, you're super inspiring, but I'm just curious, like, on the production end and everything, do you feel it's going well?
Yeah, I really do. It's the #1 fitness app. It's the #1 fitness platform, digital fitness platform right now out on the market. And the reason being is because of what we do with you guys and the podcast, and how social we are with you guys on top of that. Like last night, Jeffrey was at, my boss, one of my bosses was like, hey, you're like totally killing the game with social media. Did you hire someone to reply to all these people? And I'm like, yeah, no, that's just me. I will respond to you. I respond to everybody. I reshare everybody. I talk to everybody. And that's honestly what separates Beachbody from Peloton, is its actual genuine connection, as opposed to a show and, a kind of like, look at me and how sexy it is. At the end of the day, like what people forget when it comes to stuff like this, and this is what I struggled with even in like big box gyms, is people resort to gimmicks to keep people interested. And the funny thing is, if you actually just really, pardon my French, but if you just actually give a damn about what's going on and what you're doing, that's what actually buys people in. And I've learned this by so many of my mentors. Like I was telling you, my friend Marnie, like she's like my big sister. She's taught at the same club for 13 years. She had the cycling studio has 60 bikes. Her class is packed every single time with a wait list. And it's not because she does fireworks and pyrotechnics and laser lights and whatever. It's because of how she makes people feel. And that's truly why Beachbody has succeeded over the years, and why it will continue to succeed, is how everybody just interacts. Like the super trainers are always with, they go to the events and they meet up with you guys, and they share themselves with you guys. And, now with Body, it's even bigger community of people. So to answer your question, Body's killing the game, and it's only going to get better from here.
That's awesome. Eric, okay, the big question is, do you know, are they going to eventually add more times for us people on the East Coast to work out in the morning? Like, I want to be able to get on these podcasts. It's just so hard with my work schedule. Do you think they'll evolve over time?
I don't say never.
Yeah.
In fact, I was asked about a month or so ago if I would be willing to get up. And because I don't think they're ever going to open up. It's a lot of money to operate a body studio. Like, all the stage that you see is all lights. It is like, what I would like to acknowledge is like, yeah. I mean, I know I'm one of the trainers I'm one of the many trainers that Body has, but the back end and the behind the scenes to make this all run for you guys, you have absolutely no idea, not appreciation, but you have no idea what it really takes, because it's a monster to run. And so like, all that stage is all lights, and it's a lot of money to run off every month. So I don't know if they're going to do a East Coast studio, but I think what they are planning on doing eventually is possibly asking some of us to get up at 2:00 in the
Oh
morning.
my God.
So we can see you guys at like, 7 a.m. Eastern.
Well, you let us know if you do that, and we'll all get on. All right, I promise.
Yeah.
We'll make
No,
everyone in
trust
our
me.
community get on.
I'll make all y'all get on if I'm getting up. Yeah. I'll be texting and calling. I'll make sure Jillian gets your butts up out of bed.
You'll have everybody on the phone at 5 o'clock at night.
Right?
Eric has like team colors, and everybody, he'll tell us like what to wear prior to. And like the class is just ridiculous. Like I've made like 5 or 6 friends in there, like from other coach teams, and there's always William who's in everything. It's just so awesome. Hey, there's Nicole. That's who you yelled at last night.
Oh my gosh, how funny. I did not yell at Nicole.
I know.
So there is a question that I saw pop in the chat. May I read this?
Mm-hmm.
So
yes,
Carrie,
go ahead.
So beginner exercises. So let's talk about like, that's a really good question, because everyone's always like, what's the best beginner exercises? Really and truly, it depends on how you and your body move. So, obviously, like I taught HIIT and core last night on body. Probably would not recommend as your first class or your first round of exercises.
That was probably the hardest body class.
What's up?
So that was probably the hardest body class I've taken so far.
Oh my God, that one!
Awesome.
Oh my God, that one took me down.
I thought you were gonna die too.
I'm battling really bad allergies, and I just was not feeling it. But so sorry about that. But the 4 weeks for everybody with the low impact option, that would be a very good place to start, actually, for anyone that's they're more basic movements. But for new beginner exercises, to be succinct, it's actually compound movements. The more joints and muscles that are involved, like a bent over row, a deadlift, a squat, a lunge, a squat to overhead, a lunge to overhead press, anything like that is going to be a bigger bang for your buck in the beginning. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're in a safe environment, that your body mechanics are great for it, but stay away from isolation exercises such as bicep curls, tricep extensions, because that does absolutely nothing for you in the beginning. So any compound movements are best for beginners, as long as they're being monitored and watched. And then with nutrition, I think you had a nutrition component to that question. We know nutrition is a big part, so maybe when it comes to both nutrition and fitness, I say with my clients. So I think something I also forgot to tell you is, on top of what I do for Beachbody, I have my own coaching business, ERT, Elevated Results Together, where I actually have general population, but I also deal with the obese population as well, like extreme weight loss situations, 4, 5, 6, and on up, 100-pound individuals, and take them down to skin surgery. And so the biggest thing is always adapting. Is when you're new to exercises, finding something that you find, one of those components has to come first, and then you add the other. It's when you're trying to do both at the same time where there are very few that can take on that task, because it becomes a lot, and then it becomes this all or nothing situation. And then if you fall off the wagon, most of us are like, well, screw it, it's never going to happen. So in fact, I still have my first client that I've ever had still with me, and we're still working on building certain habits. And it takes time. It takes, it depends on the individual, but I always recommend starting with exercise first, because that tends to be the easier one to tackle, because people eventually find something that they like to do to move their bodies. And then, then we start adding in like, just start watching what you're eating. Be mindful of what you're eating. What are you eating? How much of it are you eating? And then we go from there. Does that answer the question? I don't want to overwhelm, because there's a lot to it.
I have a question.
What's going on? Hi, what's your name?
Maria.
Maria.
I have a question. I do ride a bike all day. So I'm on a bike for at least no, not a spin bike, just a regular bike for at least 6 hours a day. So I
Okay.
want to come home and then I kind of chill for like about a half hour. And then I like to take the 4 o'clock, class. Now, is that okay? Or is that just like, should I just wait a couple hours? Is that like too much?
So you're on a bike every day for 6 to 8 hours?
About 6 hours.
I would recommend you do some strength training and leave the bike where it is for where it is, because that's a lot of repetitive motion on a daily basis. Like if you were one of my personal clients, I would recommend that you ride a bike maybe 2 to 3 times a week for about an hour at a time. And then on the other day, no, I know, I'm just saying on the other days, I would have you strength train, do some form of mind body, such as Pilates or yoga, to lengthen your body back out. But since that is not your reality, I would just I would be mindful of the intensity of which you're pedaling or that you're cycling with. Obviously, during the massive amounts that you're there with, like your 6 to 7 hours a day. And then, maybe at night when you're doing the 4 o'clock class, you can go a little bit harder or a little bit easier depending on how you're feeling. Just be very mindful of how your body is feeling, because that is a lot of repetitive movement.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Anybody else?
I wasn't so much going to ask a question, but I loved what you talked about, just related to community, and that how somebody makes you feel can make all the difference. It's not necessarily the thing that's the object or the tangible item or the workout that is, the game changer. It's really that relationship and how somebody can make you feel. And I think for, most of us on here are coaches, not all of us, but I think that's such a good reminder, even for us. Like, our team is very community based, but it's hard not to sometimes spin the wheel a little and sort of chase that success and the numbers and the trips and all of that stuff. And I just think for us, like, I know that really hit me because it's such a good reminder. Like, one of my goals this year was to really engage more with my community. And I've been a little bit up and down with how well I do that. And that's part of life in some ways, but it just reminded me of how important that is. And like, what a dramatic change that can make in somebody's life, in the people that we already have. Like, we already have such huge communities overall, as greater team. And I think that it's so important to remember, like, the people you have are there with you, and to really nurture that and to really appreciate and respect that. And ultimately that sort of keeps those wheels spinning in a different way, right? So I really appreciated that, and I just wanted to share that with everybody, because I do think that sometimes we can lose sight of that a little bit, and it's always good to like ground ourselves back to that's what kept me here, that's what got me here, that's what kept me here. And I know for many of us, we feel the same way. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you bet. It's no matter what side you're on, like, me on the digital side of it, you guys are selling products and coaching clients. I mean, everything about it is not necessarily, I mean, my great grandfather would probably disagree with me that, because he said you're always selling yourself, but which is somewhat true. But it's service. You guys are servicing people. And if you remember that, then yeah, the trips and whatnot, that'll all come because you're leading with the right intention as opposed to chasing an end result. And that's where a lot of trainers also a lot of trainers get messed up with is, they want to have the sexy clients and they want to have the look a certain way and this and that. And it's if you always remember it's service before yourself, then you guys will be unstoppable as a team, as a coach, as just someone who's chasing after anything.
Amazing. Yeah.
I saw another question come through the chat, so I'm going to pull that up. And I love it. Your fiance is sleeping. I understand that. My husband's downstairs trying to be quiet. would you recommend adding or getting rid of as a focus for nutrition, adding more water versus getting rid of sweets or certain carbs? So I'm not one to limit or to take away from real life, but so I'm not one to take away from diet or to add or whatever. Everything is on the table, and so it's everything in moderation. If you enjoy a cookie, then have a cookie every so often, but you don't want to, if you're having a cookie every day, twice a day. We're playing Chase the Puppy behind me. Sorry guys, but we to play this like this or that game, it always defeats the individual in the end, because you're playing this game of I can't have that. It's not good for me. It's not this. Here's the really good news about food. A carb is a carb, and your body will process the carb as a carb. The body takes in fat. It'll recognize it as fat. It's not going to say, oh, this is a good fat, this is a bad fat. That's not how that works. Your body metabolizes the energy that you take in, no matter if it comes in a Chips Ahoy cookie or in a whole grain of rice. So, just everything in moderation. The industry has gone such a far way to make this an enemy, that bad, this and that. It's all to make money. And really and truly, like, every body operates off a different set of energy needs and requirements with regards to food. Some people actually require a little bit more food than they think they do, right, Jillian? Jillian and I have had this conversation.
A lot.
Yeah. So, it's really like, when it comes down to you and your nutrition, and you and your own nutrition program, it is specific to you. And so I definitely encourage you to, stay away from anything that's like faddish or like keto, or just be mindful of what you're eating is the best way to say. I don't know how else to say it. It's just to truly be mindful, because I've spent the years, I've done every fad diet out there. I've done everything. And I now just count macros. My fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. That's what everybody operates off a different set of amount of those. And I now know kind of where my set point is. If I want to add, if I'm trying to add muscle and size to my body, I increase my calories. If I want to decrease and cut down a little bit, I'll pull off of that. But I don't limit myself from, like, the other night I had Diet Dr. Pepper. And I had a cookie, and you know what? I'm going to do it again this weekend. Yeah. Because I'm a human being.
Thanks, Eric.
You're welcome.
So we really, really appreciate your time.
Yeah,
I know Jillian was saying she said, she was like, oh, he's got a lot going on. And then after you explained everything, how like you were also into opera and everything, like, you're doing a lot, and you've done a lot in your life. So that's super inspiring. Thank you again for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
We're super excited to work out with you now. Yes. And ride with you. So you'll be seeing a lot of our faces in your workouts.
I can't wait. Thank you guys so much for having me. I hope you all got something out of this, and find me on social. You want to chat, we can chat.
Eric, can we get a quick picture?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, everyone, smile. All right, thanks, Eric. Thanks, Jillian.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh, that was great.
That was awesome. He's so cute.